Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Woody Allen Retrospective podcast right here on planettyro.com, brought to you by the studios of Simon Rad. Thank you for having me, Simon.
Don't thank me before you get the bill.
It ain't no bill, goddammit. We're doing this shit for free. I ain't getting any fee. And guys, you listening, you guys are paying us with your time, which we do appreciate. Guys, we're continuing the retrospective, and this time, because we're at Simon's house, you might notice some audio differences. I'm going to try to edit. It might sound better. It might sound worse, you guys, so keep an open mind, because honestly, I get tired of doing this in the Planet Tower studios all the time. I need to change the scenery. You guys don't know the difference. So moving on, guys,
Which is very important for a podcast, yeah. Where you record plays such a big part in the viewer's experience, because they're just listening, motherfucker.
Exactly. You know, like your mama told you had the best face for radio.
No, actually, she said I should be a model.
Fuck you. Anyway, guys, last time, if you were with us on the retrospective, we spoke about that TV kind of side movie, 1996 Sunshine Boys. It was an interesting recording, a painful one since we did that one twice, but
that's already more time than anybody else spent on the movie, because I still can't find a single credit for that on any website talking about Woody Allen movies. It's almost like the movie doesn't even exist.
It's a special one, guys. We went out of our way because we're completionists. So guys, thank you. If you're on YouTube, again, it'll be in the YouTube card, top right hand corner. Guys, do not forget, we've been doing this retrospective all year 2017. We've created a specific website called WoodyAllenRetro.com. Go there, you can see all the previous recordings for all the other previous films. We're moving forward, guys. Do not forget, all of these discussions are spoiler discussions. You guys should watch the movies first before you listen to us ramble about them, because we're going to spoil all the details. And with that said, Simon, I'm going to let you take it away. Tell us what this one's about, and we're going to get into it.
Okay. Well, another controversial recording is upon us, because this is another pretty good one, in my opinion, and another beloved one. And like usually, when it comes to 90s Woody Allen movies, you're probably going to be on the opposite side. But we're looking at 1990, is it 6?
Yep.
I believe it's 6. Yeah, same year as the Sunshine Boys. 1996 is Everybody Says, I Love You, except me.
Which is not true. I was just about to say that. That is not true.
Maybe that's some 90s stuff, but it wouldn't be a Woody Allen movie without some irony, so might as well have an ironic title.
It's the name of one of the main songs in the movie.
And there you go.
Yeah.
That's basically all you need to know about this movie, that it is a musical. Well, if you need any further proof that Woody Allen's a freaking genius, man. I mean, this guy made a musical in 1 year. Where did this come from? While acting in another movie? Especially, like, if you think about the 90s, so diverse. Such diverse filmography. Expressionism, comedy, sci-fi, freaking experimental romance, and now a musical. And don't get me wrong, this is still a true-to-form Woody Allen movie, and sort of his rediscovery of his love for New York.
Yeah.
Again, very typical Woody Allen setting. Woody plays Joe Berlin, out of all the names he could pick for a character, who is divorced. And the main focus is not really on him. He has his own plot line, but the bulk of the story roams around his old family. His wife, ex-wife, played by Goldie Hawn.
Goldie Hawn, not Cody. Goldie.
Goldie, you that's what I said. What do you think I said?
You said Cody. I heard that. Guys, you heard him say Cody.
Goldie. What kind of name is Goldie? Like, no, it's Goldie Hawn.
Yeah.
And her husband, her second husband, played by Alan Alda. You know I love that guy.
Oh, fourth time coming. Let me tell you.
He is terrific.
He's having a good time. He's got a smile on his face. He might be the miserable guy on MASH, but let me tell you something. In every Woody Allen movie, he's got a smile on his face, and yeah, you carry on, remember. He's great.
I love that guy. It's like, if the comedy bends, it's funny. If it breaks, it's not. I love that guy.
Yeah, I do. He's great. He's absolutely great.
And again, playing a totally different character in this one. He's not annoying. Yeah. He's actually the straight man. He's like the backbone of the family. And then we have the kids. And I don't want to... There's a lot of characters in this, but what really needs to be highlighted, that this movie has an amazing cast. I mean, you actually need to help me out, because I'm probably going to forget some people, but we have freaking Drew Barrymore.
Drew Barrymore, yeah.
As one of the daughters. We have Natalie Portman.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is around Leon, right? Leon the Professional. So, you know, quite early days of her career.
She looked so much younger in Leon than here, though. She looked like she really grew up in this movie. I don't know, the jump, a year or two?
Maybe we can come back to that.
We'll have to come back to that,
again, Woody just picking the talent before you even know it. Her actual biological daughter in the movie is played by Natasha Lyonne.
Yeah, the girl from Orange is the New Black.
Again, just so many years before.
Her name's Nikki. Nikki, that drug girl who's she's one of the most. She's actually one of the most charismatic people in Orange is the New Black. She's a beloved character. She disappeared in one of the seasons, but she's in this movie. To be honest with you, she's narrating a lot of this movie as well.
She is basically the main character, right?
Yeah, basically.
If you want to narrow it down, it's quite evenly paced. But if you need a main character, it's probably her because she's narrating. It's truly her perspective or retrospective because she's talking about all the events take place throughout a year and she's thinking back on it.
Yeah.
And there's Ed Norton. Tim
Edward Norton.
Tim Roth from Reservoir Dogs again. 90s was his main year for career.
It was, even though he had that. What was that series he had called Lie to Me? It was Lie to Me, right? He had his own series, Lie to Me.
I think for me it was called Turn the Channel.
Yeah, it was called Cancelled as well. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to take the piss.
Yeah, it had many names.
All right, guys. For you general guys, you probably most recognize him from being the Abomination in the Incredible Hulk movie with Edward Norton. Look at that.
Oh yeah. Everything comes
full circle.
Around.
Edward Norton. I didn't even think of that before.
Yeah, after this movie, I was actually shocked. Everybody cast this guy as the Hulk. I'm like, in this movie, he plays like the most anti-rage person. I mean, I guess for Bruce Banner, but let's not get sidetracked. Oh, you even have what's my girl? The voice of Marge Simpson.
Oh, Judy Kavanaugh.
She has a small role in this movie as well.
I didn't even notice that till you pointed out to me.
Yeah, and the list just goes on and on. I mean, it is. We mentioned Julia Roberts, right?
Yeah, Julia. This cast is fucking shocking. I know we say it all the time, but guys, I mean, at this point, Woody Allen's casting known people, Julia Roberts, Goldie Hawn, and he's casting people that their future is yet to shine. Again, the Orange is the New Black lady, Natasha, and man, Woody Allen. It's a consistent with his career. It's crazy, I know I shouldn't just give Woody the credit for that. I'm sure he's got a casting director that hires his people, but honestly, Woody's got some fucking 6 degrees of separation and shit in nearly all of his movies. He must be one of the most connected directors I've ever seen.
Oh, and don't get me wrong. He also needs to be credited as an actor's director because everybody gives terrific performances. Not only he knows how to pick the right people, but really it has to be a joy working with him because everybody's terrific in this movie. Even Julia Roberts, who, for me, she's a great actress, but she has two types of movies. Yeah. One where she kind of plays the starlet, the beauty.
Yeah.
And then there are films where they actually
character-driven films, like
where they challenge her. They actually cast her as a Sleeping with the Enemy.
Yeah.
The one you want to mention.
Evan Brockovich?
Yes, exactly. She won the Oscar for that, right?
Yeah.
So when they challenge her, and that's when she really shines. And in this movie, what makes it special that it's a combination of both. She is the love interest. She plays like, the beautiful, mysterious woman, but she's terrific. Woody really knows how to direct people and just give enough backstory to these characters so the actors can really sink their teeth in.
Oh yeah, but he can't help putting himself in that male role of the main love interest with these characters. He just can't help himself.
Oh yeah,
I'll get to that later. And to be honest with you, there's an interview he says later where, let me tell you something about Woody Allen. I know we said this before. He's a very brash person. He says what he thinks. He said, I think it's more recently interesting that he said that as he gets older, he found it so hard to cast himself out of the main lead roles. He's like, look, man, I'm just a human guy. I want to be the guy that gets a girl. And, as he gets older, it gets more unrealistic, of course. But as we get through, I'm bringing this up now because, again, when you see Woody Allen, I don't want to say coercing. When you see him courting Julia Roberts, you're kind of like, really? There's a reason for that in this movie. But again, he's getting older. So in the movies, it's starting to get unbelievable that he's the main love interest for all these movies. And he tries to work his character that it's not that he's a main love interest like the last movie. It's not that he loved that girl, but anyway. But yeah, I'll get more to that.
I know what you. But people are thinking like, okay, so what? Do you have all these terrific actors? What's this movie about?
There's no story. That's what we've been we've been procrastinating about this.
It is a Woody Allen movie, so everybody's miserable yet everybody's happy at the same time. It's a funny movie. It's all about setting up funny situations and then having a musical number. Yeah. That's basically it. It's true to form Woody Allen in terms of the setting. We have a liberal family living in New York, big family. Everybody's super accomplished, but he even makes fun of that because the only black sheep of the family is the son, who just decided he's like a conservative Republican. That is one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
I was watching that and I was thinking of you and I was thinking you must hate this fucking kid because the way he was arguing with his dad being ultra conservative and the shit he was saying to his dad. I was like, Simon, Simon, he loves these kind of people. Well, he loves to hate them.
Yeah. I thought that was hilarious because Woody gives it to both.
Yeah.
Because the kid is just like, releasing criminals on the street, people on handouts. Are you insane? Everybody's entitled. It was like George Bush Jr., right?
Yeah.
But then he flips it, and Goldie Hawn, she's like, because the daughter's narrating a movie, and
she's the guilty liberal.
She comes from money, so she's like the guilty liberal, and she goes to campaigning against how we treat prisoners.
Every liberal cause you can think of. She's got these fundraisers, charities.
But when the movie takes place, she's all about bettering the prison system. And there's this hilarious scene where she goes into the prison and starts talking about we should provide books and classical music and European menus
and choose your own dinner,
and choose their own dinner and cook their own food so the prisoners can live in a sophisticated way in larger, maybe 2-bedroom cells. Then you just have the reaction shot of all the prison guards and the police just listening to her like, "Are you crazy?
What the fuck is this bitch talking about?" Yeah.
It's hilarious. It's really funny, and the Finn plot line that's there, that the whole family is getting ready because Drew Barrymore and Edward Norton are getting married.
Oh, Drew Barrymore and Edward Norton. Oh my god,
and
Edward Norton,
a loved-up couple, and Drew Barrymore is like a young, innocent girl who's dreaming about the Prince Charming, somebody exciting, and Edward Norton is basically a dork. So that and you can see that's the main point, that everybody could be happy, but they want something else.
Yes,
and that's the driving force through all the plot lines. Julia Roberts has a boyfriend, but she wants something else. Oh yeah, a husband. But she wants something else, and she visits a psychiatrist, and all the daughters who go to school together, the psychiatrist is, I think, one of their schoolmates, next door neighbors. So
they can overhear the conversation.
Woody recycles the plot line from
Another Woman. My favorite movie,
Yeah. And also, some of his films make a cameo in this, because there's even we'll get to it later. But basically, they overhear her, so there's a whole plot line of the daughter trying to set up Woody Allen with Julia Roberts, using the inside information from Julia Roberts,
feeding him everything he could possibly know to win this woman's heart. And honestly, it starts off comedic, but it gets kind of fucking creepy.
yeah, which could be a whole separate Woody Allen movie altogether.
Sure.
But I want to get into the specific details of specific plot lines and the specific scenes. But first, tell me why you hate this fucking movie.
Oh my god, I hate this movie. I hate one of the most Woody Allen's only, well, to my memory, only musical. Man, look, guys, I'll tell you right now. When I'm criticizing Woody Allen, I'm criticizing him against himself. I'm defending myself right off the bat.
Yeah, exactly. You're already like, hey, just like, get away from me.
Yeah, because I get a lot of hate on the email, especially, hey, Woody Allen's movies are mostly good, mostly great, better than a whole bunch of other people's movies. Look, man, when it comes to this movie/musical, I have to give it slack, because I am going to be critical on it, because it's a musical within a year. And to me, if you're making a musicals are planned. They're planned. Every scene's planned. The songs are planned. And this is kind of, I don't want to call it a rush musical, but you can see it's just very, you could just see that this isn't Woody doing a musical at its optimal. If you give Woody Allen 2 or 3 years to make a musical, I think he could make a fucking masterpiece, classic musical. When I was watching this movie, I could see the editing was kind of shotty. The songs were, I think they were not original songs. Maybe some of them were, but a few of them were pop influenced, or songs that were just resung, which is fine. And again, they're getting the actors who are not classically trained to be, musicals or do this thing.
That is one thing I want to mention, that this film just symbolizes a trend in Hollywood to cast people in musicals who can sing. What's up with that? You have a terrific cast, but nobody can sing.
Well, that's what I don't mind. I'm like, I can't criticize the singing because they're just singing normally, and there's not a whole bunch of ADR after dubbing to make up for it. And I appreciated that. You can blatantly see Woody Allen himself has a part where he's singing so low. It's like, dude, I can't hear you. But then again, he's not trying to make it perfect. So I'm like, I can forgive that. Edward Norton is pathetic, but it's so funny. His character's pathetic, and his singing is so bad. It's just like, Like, dude, you know, it's a pathetic character. He's singing is pathetic. And
his dancing is pathetic. His wardrobe is pathetic.
Yeah,
you know,
it's just like I can't criticize the movie because it just feels like they're just trying to be spontaneously breaking into song. But again, it's like I saw glimmers of greatness here and good ideas. It's not only the characters, there's a few set pieces. There's a set piece at a hospital. There's a more creative one at a funeral.
Yep.
There's one at the end we'll get to. But I was like, I can't criticize Woody Allen on the musical part because, again, he's doing it within a year. And for that, it's fair enough. But again, as a musical, the songs are meh. The set pieces are good for what they are. But I wasn't as blown away as I was the first time. And again, because when it comes to Hollywood, American and musicals, I feel like they're very passionate. And when I'm coming into it and I'm thinking of great musicals, I'm not going to name because I don't want to compare it to anything, to be honest with you. I'm just like, this is the first American musical I've seen in Hollywood by a big budget director, which is kind of lacking. But it feels like he's just testing. So again, for me to be critical isn't fair because, again, he's just trying this first time, doing it within a year, and for what it is, it's fine, but it didn't blow me away. And the story, as we said, it's a thin story where you're just bouncing around this family, having their own little love issues. They're a rich white family. If we're talking about likability, they're all sport, they're all rich. Every one of the characters kind of pathetic. Drew Barrymore's does something really bad to him, which he kind of forgives. So it's very light and fluffy. The whole thing can't be taken very seriously. So I'm just like, I should just sit back and enjoy it. But it's very mediocre. It's like, yeah, Woody, you know, if this was just a focused musical on, you know, I know you're going to be at La La Land, but if it was a focused storyline on two characters and he was writing a narrative, I could see him blowing it out of the park. But for me, I was just like, this is just kind of meh. I'm sorry, Woody. I'm like, I can see you have talent to do something great here. But as I was watching the movie, I'm like, even at the entertainment level, it's very bleh. Except for one particular scene at the end, which I think is obviously one of his most iconic scenes. But honestly, I don't really need to go over everything because it's a thin story. Everything's kind of mediocre. Except, oh, sorry, there's one thing. I'll take that back. One thing, stellar, and the cinematography, in terms of style and the way it's executed, isn't stellar. But the visuals, my fucking God. Paris, New York in the winter.
Yep.
It looks, I haven't seen the Woody Allen movie look this beautiful since Manhattan. I think this is between Manhattan and now, and this movie, it hasn't looked this gorgeous. And just seeing the landscapes and the visuals of the places they were, it made me jealous. This is one of the reasons why I love Woody Allen, to see the visuals. And again, I was blown away, especially Woody Allen's character in Paris, who's going to the museums, where the last scene at the end, which again, I'll save for, we're going to get into a mini discussion about that, but it looks fucking beautiful. I saw a HD rip. It looks beautiful. If you want to see the scenes of Woody Allen doing this globetrotting here and there, that's the thing that I think blows it away out of the water. Everything else, I think, is mediocre. That's my critical opinion.
Well, this is a segment of the show that we could call Simon Tells You Why You're Wrong.
You always do.
To me, I'll meet you halfway. First of all, fuck La La Land. After watching this movie, I can tell they ripped this movie up like nobody's business. And they got so much love, like, oh my God, it's a return to Hollywood classic, so inspirational. I'm like, Woody Allen did this in 1996. Once again, Woody Allen gets no freaking credit. But to your point, the songs themselves, I thought, okay, what's the rewatch value here, right? Because the thing with musicals, you want to relive those moments, hear the songs again, and not a whole lot. I'll give you that. It's fun when you're watching it the first time, but you don't feel like, oh wait, I can't wait to watch this again or another time, or I need to own this movie now so I can just rewatch that particular sequence or that other sequence. With that said, you know, Woody gets so creative. What I liked about this, that it's a smart musical. Like, it's not just a collection of scenes in between the dance numbers. Like, oh, we just need to go from one dance number to the other dance number, and we put all our focus in those. He actually wrote some really funny dialogue, some really good characters. The actors are great. There are some terrific scenes, like when it's him, Goldie Hawn, and Alan Alda. Again, a very typical Woody Allen setting where they're all friends despite being divorced and remarried. You know,
just like Hannah and her sisters.
Oh yeah, again, just like Hannah and her sisters, and even played against Sam to a certain degree. Is just very outspoken and very open about, oh, you're still in love with your ex-wife, Alan Alda says. But the jokes they make between each other, they have such good chemistry. You could tell some of the dialogue was even improvised, and Alan Alda has a genuine big laugh mid-scene, and I'm like,
he's great.
Yeah, this it's all terrific, and I really appreciated that. Like, the first musical number is just the city of New York coming to life, and Woody plays around with the scene very well. We start with Edward Norton, but then like there's a homeless guy, there's an old lady with her guardian, nurse. And then we have the scene in the jewelry store where Ed Norton tries to buy the ring. Then we have another scene in the hospital. So it's all relevant. The plot makes sense. We're not just going from musical number to musical number, and people don't just randomly burst out into a musical number. There are singing parts, and even that's really clever because it's a reoccurring theme of, I'm through with love, I never fall again. And almost every character sings that song at some point.
Alan Alda even turns that into a joke.
That was funny. That was really funny. And then at the end, in the very final scene where you have the song, everybody says, I love you. Yeah. They actually reveal where it originated from. So it's even something sweet. So I'm like, he really put in the effort to make this thing work and make it make sense. Now, in terms of the songs not being memorable, they could have taken their time to write, more memorable original music.
Time is the thing.
But I also thought he got really creative with some stuff, like the funeral scene. That's what brought me around.
That was
wow,
good.
Suddenly Granddad is like, the showrunner here. That character you thought was a one-note joke, and they brought him back in a big way at his own funeral.
That was very good. That was creative as hell. That was very good.
Name another movie where they do that. Yeah, but outside of that, I see where you're coming from. I just like it better. I think where the movie stumbles is rewatch value, but in terms of just accomplishment for the director Woody Allen, it just shows the dude is insanely multi-talented.
Yeah, completely. I said this before. This was a test. This shows a glimmer. If he actually took time to write a musical and actually made a simple narrative story with more depth, he could have made one of his other movies a musical. With this kind of talent, he would have killed it. So to me, that's why I'm more forgiving of the movie. One thing I didn't mention, I'm not sure how the movie ages, because I think a lot of musical ages very well. And that's the thing about musicals, they're in their own little time capsule. Watching this one, it felt very 90s. It reminded me of Home Alone 2 as well. And I was just like, I don't know, man. Like you said, the music is not super memorable. There's no set pieces, choreography with the dancers to make you want to go. And I'm just like, to say this is a music for Woody Allen, if you say that now to someone, I think they would be hype. And if you show them this, I think they might be a bit disappointed. That's where I'm coming from. I feel like I'm watching this for the first time because my memory says one thing. I'm watching it now and I'm like, this is the guy that made the movie everyone's going on about, the one we're going to get to in 2012, which I'm not going to mention right now. But then you hear that guy did a musical. You watch this and you're kind of like, kind of lackluster. I know I'm being critical in the movie. I'm just saying this to me was a taste of Woody doing a musical and not really a musical. It's a 1 year project for Woody. Yeah. And that's my criticism. It's just like, I wanted to see him at his full powers. I want to see Woody Allen's full form as a musical director. This was him, at Kaioken, to use Dragon Ball Z reference. Kaioken 1.
Yeah, this is just Kaioken. It's not Super Saiyan yet.
Exactly. That's my point. And see, I'm criticizing him against himself. But if you want to talk about as a general movie, it's fine. It's serviceable. It's entertaining. I actually will say as well, I think...
It's Kaioken, by the way, just because of Master Kaio.
Fuck you. Yeah. And also, I think diehard musical fans, I think they'll criticize the movie a lot. If you put this movie up against other musicals, I think people will be like, oh, this ain't that music. This is, what is this?
Well, here's the thing, okay? Like, if you focus on just the musical element, yeah. But what I liked about it, it's not just a musical. It's also an entertaining comedy. I find the movie really, really entertaining. And in terms of the actors, again... This is why I would want somebody in the cast who could either sing or dance, or preferably both, because then you can write a really good number for that person instead of trying to sell me on Ed Norton being a singer and a dancer.
Oh man, that was so bad. It was good.
That was tough to watch. But here's the thing: Woody tries, because basically the language of musicals was written by Grace Kelly and Fred Astaire. Yeah, and these guys do that. This is classic musical portrayal. when it comes to the acting, when it comes to the singing, when it comes to the performance in the musical segments. Then they switch back to, you know, a regular Woody Allen movie, but the transition being that organic, I like that. I think that's a successful experiment for Woody Allen. So you really need to view it as a more unique piece of, you know, I guess filmography.
As a fan, I can, especially being a Woody Allen fan, I can appreciate it as Woody Allen dabbling in the musical. But again, I wanted to see more, and it's not fair. I know it's not fair for me to. I should just judge the movie on his own movie, but I couldn't help but look at this, being like, damn, man, 2 years, not one. This might have been a classic with the talent as well, but 1 year Woody Allen's schedule, considering, pretty good.
I just think some of the set pieces were good. Like I'll tell you one of my favorite moments when Tim Roth comes into the movie.
Yeah, and
he plays the escaped convict that Goldie Hawn was trying to defend socially in the public.
Yeah,
and he comes in to was it a Thanksgiving dinner party or a birthday, or I think it falls close to each other, so they celebrate together. And of course, the predictable plot line is that Drew Barrymore, who's been waiting for Prince Charming, falls for this bad boy immediately.
Yeah.
But Tim Roth is so funny because the first thing he says, he goes in and somebody taps on his shoulder. He just jumps like, "Nobody get behind me! I'll stab you!" And he just goes on how in prison, whenever somebody's behind, you need to finish him.
I liked it, but some people might find it to be an exaggerated stereotype. Just saying, some Italians might be upset. You know what I mean?
It's like, nobody gets behind me. And then somebody takes a photo of it, it's like, no pictures. It was just hilarious.
It was good. Even though I knew it was a caricature, it was a stereotype. It was fun. He did it well. It wasn't offensive. Oh, I'm just being funny.
He was super funny to me. The whole situation, even like the way his storyline ends, it's almost like another Woody Allen cameo. Like Take the Money and Run makes a cameo in this movie, just like Another Woman.
Yeah,
it just reuses that, a little bit of that. It was just funny, man.
It was.
And the scenes in Venice, you know, as somebody who has been to Venice, I mean, that was beautiful. It was.
Fuck you.
I mean, and Julia Roberts, man, she looks stunning in this movie.
I want to talk about Julia Roberts' character. There's two things I want to talk about. Let's talk about the Julia Roberts character and her and the Woody thing. Now, first of all, I said this in the beginning. First of all, Woody Allen, having this angle where he's getting all this information about her and using it to win her over. You know, it's comedic. But then it gets a little silly. But I like the way Woody wrote it. Like, he writes most of his things with some nuance. And at the end, the way it resolves with, you know, spoiler, her leaving him and her explaining that, you know what, you made my dream come true. And now it's kind of done. And, you know, it's it's cool. It's like, yeah, you know, Woody, that's Woody Allen I like. Because the way it was going. There's another movie called Ruby Sparks about a guy who makes his imaginary girlfriend. And, you know, I like... Woody tackled it first, obviously, but I like the fact that it's a nice tale to have in the movie as well, and I think it does make Julia Roberts' character more three-dimensional and more honest. But my whole thing with that was that Woody was just so focused as a character, by the way, because her character was written fine. He was just serving all her needs. It was funny the scene where he was trying to blow her back, like an idiot. You know, I was just like, wow, you're not really thinking about yourself, because, you know, I've watched a lot of films like this. Well, this one segment, I've watched films based on segments like this, and I just kept on thinking to myself, what are you doing? I mean, there was a part where she was like, don't you like eating frogs at night like me? He's like, yeah, I do. And I'm like, this thing ain't sustainable. If this was a movie, it would end with him just being, fuck all this. You know, I can't keep up with this shit. I don't even like half this shit. It was a good part. If they never had that part where she ended him, it would have really hurt the movie. I like the fact he wrote that to end that way, which I thought was clever. And honestly, I think it's realistic. You know, sometimes when you reach your dreams, a dream ends. That's it. A dream is a dream, but dreams end, and then you got reality, which again, Woody Allen is known for bringing the reality in the end, which again, I think is funny. He did it in a comedic way this time, but it worked.
True. It's like Julia Roberts says, I had a fantasy, and now I got my fantasy. Now I don't have one. It's boring.
Now get the fuck out.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm done with you. But
yeah,
here's the thing, man. That cracked me up. You know why?
Why?
Because Woody always goes on about, my characters aren't me. It's all fiction. But that thing he played where like, oh, I'm controversial in America, so I moved to Europe where they appreciate my writing, and I still write everything on an old typewriter. I'm like, that's you, motherfucker. Again, that's like, there's an interview where you could literally quote him word for word that he does that. He moved to Europe because he was controversial in America, and he still writes everything on an old typewriter. And what I find hilarious, he always writes these characters where he does the right thing at the end, and then he's still like kind of like the tragic hero.
Yeah.
He's alone, and everybody else is happy, but he's miserable. I'm like, in real life, it seems to play out always the other way. you know, where he's happy, and everybody else is just miserable and destroyed.
Yeah.
But then again, you know, we're not going to go back to that.
No.
Obviously, it's almost like it was him admitting to his controversy in the 90s and the state of his career.
Uh-oh.
Because he was talking about why he lives in New York and kind of critiquing, because, again, this is 1996, which was an election year. So him roasting the Republicans, especially at the end, that, again, one of my favorite parts were the last plot line that resolves is the son. What was his name? Scott?
That was so... You know what? That resolution was like... It was an insult. It was like... Because he's basically saying, you guys have got something wrong with your brain.
Yeah, because... Scott collapses. They take him to the hospital. They're like, don't worry. He just had a blockage in his veins, so
he wasn't getting enough oxygen.
Yeah. The blood wasn't flowing. His brain wasn't receiving oxygen, so his brain wasn't working properly. Yeah. But now it does. So the first thing he does is quit the Republican Party and become a liberal.
Yeah.
What he's basically saying, you need to be nuts or something wrong with your head
to
be a Republican. I'm like, that's pretty much it. You know, especially since we have the white genocide rallies going on at the moment. You know. So
the vanilla ISIS.
The vanilla ISIS. The Republican Party turned into the vanilla ISIS. Yeah. So again, Woody being ahead of his time and roasting them during election year, because this is the Clinton era, so of course they wanted to get rid of Clinton really bad. Yeah.
Well, let me wrap this up because I know we've gone on long about this one. And last thing I want to mention, I have to mention. Well, actually, there's one other thing I want to mention. The last, obviously, we have to talk about the final scene. The final scene with Goldie Hawn and Woody Allen by the riverside. And let me tell you something, man. This is a scene, without a doubt, in Woody Allen's filmography, is one of the like pivotal picture moments, like the bench in Manhattan or any scene in Annie Hall. This scene where he's dancing with Goldie Hawn and there's obvious wire work is done with class. It's done smoothly. Even now, even today in 2017, where I will say La La Land took this shit, definitely took it from me. I would say I don't remember seeing a lot of wire work in other musicals. I might be wrong, but this one. It was fucking gorgeous. The backdrop of the river, the lights, Goldie Hawn, the singing. It's not very long. It's probably about 2 minutes, but it is iconic. It still looks good, and honestly, I love the fact Woody Allen wants to end his goddamn movies. End on a high. That is a high. It's a masterpiece of filmmaking there.
It's a terrific scene. It's shot fantastic. It looks terrific, and again, what made it work that it came out of nowhere. It's completely different from the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
And this is where I can, maybe level with you a little bit. That shows what he could do if he took his time.
Exactly,
because
my point.
That was a masterfully crafted sequence. Yeah. Everybody was on point. Yeah. The cinematography, the costume design.
It looked like one shot, right? Or did you to practice that multiple times?
Shot. They shot that for probably a month. That's weeks of work on film for just like you said, maybe 2 minutes. And
you can see the water in the river, so it ain't cut. You can watch the water move in the river, so it's one. They probably practiced it multiple times, but that was one take. I'm telling you, that is fucking fantastic.
It is terrific. That scene is Oscar worthy, by itself.
Yes, it is. That's what I've seen. And the last one I want to bring up, and actually I would be remiss if I didn't, man. I have to say, without a doubt, I think this is Woody Allen's most multicultural movie of all, because honestly,
you people are in this one.
I was going to get to that.
Yeah,
there was a rap scene. Remember we talked about scenes from a hall. We said those guys are rapping, doing some rubbish beatboxing. This time you get some hardcore.
That was hilarious.
Fuck love.
Yeah, where everybody sings, "I'm through with love, I'll never love again," and he's like, "Yeah, fuck love, fuck all you motherfuckers." I was like, "I'm through with love. Fuck all you motherfuckers."
I tried to find the group. I couldn't find the group because I think they're an actual act. Maybe they're not. I don't know. But it's a cutaway scene. But the reason why I'm bringing it up again is not only that. There's actually a scene where one of the taxi drivers, an Asian guy,
again, very creative. You have. I don't know if he was Indian or Arab
or Pakistani. Again, guys will raise our hands up for being.
I think
ignorant.
From the headpiece. I think he was Sikh because you have to wear the thing.
We'll go with that. Forgive us, people.
I don't want to say turban because you have multiple headpieces, not always a turban.
Let's avoid those trigger warnings, Simon.
Yeah, exactly. The dude with the beard driving a cab in New York, you know he's foreign from somewhere east. He starts singing, and I thought that was hilarious.
In his own language.
Yeah, exactly.
He was singing in his own language, and you can blatantly... I know I always say this, guys, because Woody Allen's very criticized for not hiring a lot of black people, other multicultural people. This one today is easily the most multicultural cast characters he's had. And I know a lot of them are not main characters, but in the dance sequences, in the taxi, like we mentioned, the black... It's like, I felt like that was conscious. It was good. Not good enough. I'm not going to say it was good, but it was good to see that in the movie because, again... It's New York, and New York is very diverse. And although, again, we're dealing with another rich white family, a rich house, and, you know, even the part of the movie where they say, you know what we do for Christmas? We go to Rome and just rent out the whole hotel and have a costume party. And I was like, you motherfuckers. I can't relate to this shit.
Oh,
but I love to see it.
Again, somebody who went to Paris, seeing Paris in this movie was terrific as well.
Fuck you again, Simon.
You know, we need to do... It reminded me we need to do some traveling because we live 5 minutes from all these places in London.
That's true.
And yet we're still stuck here all year. And this, you know... rainy ass shithole.
You have no idea. Worst summer 2017, Jesus. But let's wrap this up. I think I said everything to cover the movie. Unless you got anything else to say?
No. I think I know where you're coming from. I like the movie better because I think for him, it's a great diversification of his portfolio.
Definitely,
it's a very successful attempt. I appreciate what he adds to the genre of musical. I think the way he ties things together and the kind of clever little jokes he inserts are unique. And I enjoyed the movie a lot. It's just, if every number was like the last number, this would be a classic, instant classic, infinitely rewatchable. In this current form, it's just fun. It's a very highly recommendable movie to check out. It's very unique. And again, fuck La La Land. They totally ripped this movie off.
I could see them. I won't say the complete rip-off, but you know,
they have the same location as the ending of this film.
I think so.
The Paris trip.
I do think so. I think that was. I would. If we did research, I think we would find it directed on purpose. I think that was more of a tribute. I'm not sure if it was a rip-off. I'm sure he did that
when
on purpose.
You run out of ideas, suddenly start making tributes. What a coincidence.
Wow. We got a La La Land superfan right here. Anyway, guys, I figure like I'm forgetting something, but this review's gone on too long. I know I'm going to get hate for even criticizing the movie, but that's what I was going to say. In context, and I think I want to end on a positive. In context of the time the movie was made in 1996, for Woody Allen to do this, I don't think anyone was doing this kind of thing. You know, this was a throwback, and at the time, this was probably a breath of fresh air. Again, coming off La La Land, I can be a bit more critical. Coming off the time where we're in this whole, you know, reliving the years of wonder and nostalgia and all this stuff. I guess I can. It's easy for me to be more critical when now people are going to do this more and more. But then I don't think anyone else is doing this for Woody Allen. So again, I have to tip my hat off and say much praise to you. Well done. And yeah, guys, let's leave it at that. If you've seen the movie, you want to give us your opinions on why you hate my opinion or why you agree with Simon, disagree, guys, we want to hear it. Whatever you think, leave it in the comment section down below. Simon, as always, I want to thank you for joining me on this one.
That's fine. This one was a good one. Better than last week, I'll tell you that. Let's not get caught up in spin-offs, okay? Let's stick to the main filmography.
It's ironic you say that, Simon, because that's exactly what we're not going to do. Because the next discussion is going to be a spin-off. But I will say this, it will be the last one for a long time. Because honestly, we're just being completionists, guys. We hope you appreciate it, guys. We're doing this, so we are being completionists. If you guys ever heard about these movies, these side stories, we're covering them all for your listening pleasure. But again, guys, I want to say thank you. If you really appreciate what we're doing here, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Want to say thank you guys for listening on the podcast. Woody Allen Pages guy, you know, our friend Danny at Woody Allen Pages. We appreciate his input. We appreciate the website because that's the website to go if you're a true Woody Allen fan. But with that said, guys, we're going to leave you and we'll see you on the next recording.